In an America where we can't agree on anything, where Democrats and Republicans are at each other's throats over literally everything from pronouns, what bathrooms we can use, it goes on and on. Suddenly, we're all on the same page over one issue. That's the Epstein Files. Now, when the House of Representatives voted to release the documents, it was a vote of 427-1. Now, this wasn't a Republican versus Democrat issue. This was 427 Americans demanding to see the truth and expose predators. Now, the Senate, that was unanimous consent.
Release the Epstein Files.
Every single senator agreed. Now, when was the last time you saw that happen? When was the last time Chuck Schumer and the most conservative Republicans agreed on anything? You know what's even more remarkable? The American people are united on this too. Not just united though, but furious. Trump supporters and Trump haters, for once, on the same page.
And maybe work together, we could actually care about forgotten and abandoned Americans like the survivors that testified today.
The page that says that we want to know who was on that island. We want to know who knew. We want to know who participated. We want to know who covered it up. And most importantly, we want justice for the victims. Now, this is very rare, I'm telling you folks. This unity is extremely rare. From a political side, you got Thomas Massie, one of the most conservative members of Congress, a libertarian, a constitutional purist. I know Trump doesn't like him right now, but look, at his core, Thomas votes America first. And then you have Khanna, a partner in Thomas right now, a progressive Democrat from California. Guys who agree on pretty much nothing. But on these Epstein Files, they're brothers in arms. And Marjorie Taylor Greene, arguably the most MAGA member of Congress, who signed the discharge petition alongside every single Democrat. She tweeted about it.
These women number around 1,000
She wanted these Epstein
women.
Files out, and that cost her a lot. That's not partisan politics, though. That's someone willing to put their life and career on the line for truth. Lauren Boebert signed it. Nancy Mace signed it. AOC signed it. Freedom Caucus signed it. The Squad signed it. 427-1. And when you look out in America, same thing. Not a left or right issue. It's a top to bottom issue. It's the people versus the elite. Everyone who's ever felt like the powerful get away with things that the rest of us regular Americans never could. We're finally saying enough is enough. Conservative commentators, liberal activists, for once demanding the same thing. Release the files, show the truth, and stop protecting monsters. You know what this tells me? It tells me that beneath all this partisan noise, all this manufactured outrage that the news media and social media bring to our lives, the American people actually have pretty good instincts. We know who the real enemies are, and we know that it's not each other. So, here's what should have happened. When the law passed on the 18th of November, it gave the DOJ 30 days until December 19th to release all the files. Not some of the files. Not the files they felt comfortable with releasing, but all of them. 30 days later rolls around, and what do we get? A partial release, heavily redacted, hundreds of pages completely blacked out, and a Deputy Attorney General, Todd Blanche, on Fox News, a friendly venue, basically admitting they're violating the law.
Just baked in an assumption.
He said that they'll put out several 100,000 pages today and then several 100,000 more over the next few weeks. That's not what the law said. The law said December 19th. Release all of them. You know who was pissed off about it? Almost everybody.
The Jeffrey Epstein case has caused backlash within President Trump's base. Some MAGA supporters are upset the Department of Justice closed their investigation last week, fueling conspiracy theories that more details exist but are being hidden from the public. They are demanding President Trump fire Attorney General Pam Bondi.
Another kicker. Some of the survivors, their names and identifying information were released, while all of the people that were considered abusers, well, they were all redacted. So let that sink in for you here. The victims, they get exposed. The perpetrators get protected. And we got fury from the left, from the right, from the survivors, from lawmakers, ordinary Americans. And then Friday, January 30th rolls around and DOJ dumps 3 million more pages, videos, images, so much material it basically became impossible to sort through it all. Classic government move. Comply with the letter of the law while making it practically useless. Now, the question we should be asking is, why did they do this? Why did this become such a fight? Why did the administration, which promised to release these files, suddenly start working behind the scenes to stop it? Why did the Speaker of the House try to send home the representatives to avoid a vote? Why did the White House pressure the Republican women to drop off the discharge petition? They promised to release everything, and they're calling representatives who wanted transparency stupid or traitors. Why have we been told to move on?
I think it's time for the country to get onto something else.
I mean, what's being protected? Because the thing that I know is that this isn't about Trump or Biden. It's about a system that protects the powerful, it seems. Epstein was trafficking underage girls to some of the most influential people in the world. Some in politics, some in business, some in academics, celebrities. When he got caught in 2007 for the first time, federal prosecutors had a draft indictment with 32 counts. They had him dead to rights. And then U.S. Attorney Alexander Acosta cut a sweetheart deal. Epstein pleaded guilty to one state charge, soliciting prostitution from someone under 18. Got like a year and a half in jail. 18 months for running an international sex trafficking ring. You ask yourself why.
At any point you're handling this case, if Mr. Epstein was an intelligence asset of some sort?
Well, it seems, because Epstein had dirt on powerful people, because he was connected, because he was involved in a system that protects people like him, their own. And even now, after his death, even after Ghislaine Maxwell's conviction, even after a vote of 427-1 in Congress, the same system is still trying to keep all of the secrets buried. The redactions aren't about protecting the victims. Victims are named in the documents. Their identities are being exposed. But the powerful men, most of them, they're hidden behind black ink, black bars. Not the right bars. These redactions are about protecting power. But, you know what? This gives me hope, though. For the first time in years, maybe decades, Americans are unified around something that actually matters. Not culture war, not manufactured outrage from both political parties, but justice. We're all looking at the same situation and coming to the same conclusion. This is wrong. The left sees it, the right sees it, the people in the middle see it. We're all sick of politics entirely, and we see through the fog. Rich and powerful people abused kids, and then rich and powerful people protected them. And rich and powerful people are still protecting them. And I don't think the American public is going to stand for it anymore. This, to me, is what unity looks like. Not unity around some vague platitude about coming together or healing or change. It's real unity around a concrete demand. Tell us the fucking truth. And you know, I think that terrifies people in power, because if we stand and unite around things like this, if we can look past our partisan differences and recognize that the real divide isn't left versus right, but top versus bottom, maybe we can unite around a bunch of other things. What if we started asking questions like, why can't Congress pass a budget, but they can vote 427-1 about the Epstein Files? How come they can work together on this, but not about corruption or insider trading or the revolving door between Congress and lobbying firms? What if we realize that most of the things that divide us, the constant culture war battles, the outrage cycles, the us versus them rhetoric, is just a distraction to keep us fighting each other instead of looking up at the people who are actually robbing us blind? Because that's the real threat. Not to Epstein. He's dead. Not even to the men in the files. The real threat is to a system that depends on Americans being divided. So yeah, I think the Epstein Files could be the issue that finally unites America, and not because the files themselves will solve everything, but because they've shown us something we forgot. We actually agree on more than we think. We agree that children shouldn't be abused. We agree that powerful men shouldn't get away with crimes. We agree that justice matters more than politics. And we agree that truth is worth fighting for. And we agree that the system, both Democrat and Republican, the permanent ruling class, looks out for itself no matter who's in office, and they need to be held accountable. Again, 427-1 is not a political divide. That's the American people versus the establishment. And if we can keep that clarity, if we remember who the real enemy is, then maybe we can start fixing some other things in this country that are broken. Because the alternative is they win. And if they win, we keep fighting each other while they keep getting away with it. And I don't know about you, but I'm not okay with it. Not okay at all. These people deserve justice, and I think we're obligated as an American people to ensure that they get it. And if this is the tragedy that unites the American people, well, I think the victims would understand and appreciate the reality that this country is going to have to go through.